F1 the movie? More like F-bomb the movie. Because this movie's ass. F1 the movie is the most divorced movie I've ever seen in my life. Like, what I mean by this movie is catered towards divorced dads who do not have custody of their own children, and they feel nothing but contempt for this world. Brad Pitt plays one of the most insufferable characters I've ever seen put to screen. He's like up there with Chris Rock from Spiral from the Book of Saw for me. And I hate Spiral from the Book of Saw. I hate Spiral from the Book of Saw so much. My friend gifted me this steelbook for my birthday. Me and my friends all saw this movie in the cinema. I paid money to watch this. I don't even like F1, but I like movies, so I went. And for some reason they chose to sit at the back corner of the cinema, like literally the most unoptimal place to sit in the cinema. Middle front, that's the good stuff. I don't want to turn my neck for 2.5 hours. I showed him like the 5th row from the front, and he's literally like, that is right next to the screen. That's the front of the cinema. It's like, what are you saying? There's 4 rows in front of you. You can see the entire screen. You sit in the middle, you see the left screen to your left eye, you see the right side of the screen, your right eye, you sit, and what are you talking? Anyway, F1 the movie was off to a bad start. Like, I saw the movie and it was like bad, but it wasn't bad enough for me to make a video on it. But when I saw F1 the movie got nominated for an Oscar, it blew my mind. Which is not just any Oscar, Best Picture. Sure, like you can give it Best Effects or something. The movie technically looks good, but Best Picture. Here's every movie I saw that wasn't nominated for Best Picture that's better than F1 the movie. Zootopia 2, 28 years later, a Minecraft movie, Weapons, the Naked Gun remake, John Wick 5, Ballerina, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, Fantastic Four, First Steps, The Running Man, Neja 2, Thunderbolts, Asterix, How to Train Your Dragon remake, Superman, that one Jujutsu Kaisen movie that was just a premature death arc, but they made that into a movie, Avatar Fire and Ash, No Other Choice, and Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc. But F1 the movie gets nominated for Best Picture over literally any of these movies. I was filled with just so much emotion, I just needed to vent it here. Let me explain what I detest about this movie, starting from the beginning. Brad Pitt plays Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is the greatest racer to ever live. He used to race F1 professionally back in the 90s, but after a fatal crash, he's out in the roads racing anywhere for money. He just loves racing. F1 the movie begins with Brad Pitt winning a Daytona trophy, but he doesn't even want it. How brave, how noble. This is his entire character. Like, he isn't a professional Daytona driver. He just went and he won because he's the best driver. That's just... what a character. Brad Pitt then gets recruited by his old F1 racing partner to recruit him back into the F1 racing scene to replace their previous driver who left. Obviously, he chooses 50-year-old Brad Pitt because he's the best goddamn driver he's ever seen. But Brad Pitt doesn't want to drive. Probably because of that time he nearly died. But eventually he accepts. How brave. Brad Pitt's new F1 team has not won a single race in the past 3 years and needs one win to keep them from being sold off to whoever. But because of how movies and entertainment in general is structured, you know for a fact Brad Pitt isn't gonna win until the final race. He's not gonna win an hour in. That's not how movies work. So the first 8 races in this movie just feel pointless, but anyways. Brad Pitt then butts heads with Damson Idris, a new driver to F1. Because these kids and their newfangled technology and their darn social media just ain't no good. Boomer slop. To be fair to this movie, Damson Idris is okay. He's currently rumored to be the next Black Panther in the MCU. I don't think it's a bad choice. He's got good charisma. He doesn't save this movie though. Brad Pitt then sets a self-inflicted challenge to himself. If he can get within 1 second of new Black Panther's lap time, then he'll join the F1 team. New Black Panther has been training to race F1 for years. He is literally a professional driver. He is mid-season. New Black Panther cannot be in a better position if he tried. Brad Pitt has to use the same track, the same exact car. Every specification is the same. But if he can get within 1 second for his first time in an F1 car in 30 years, then he'll join. The gap between F1 in the 90s to the 2020s is just insane. And Brad Pitt thinks he can get within 1 second of a professional driver. He can suck, yeah, but he's professional. Of course he can't. since Brad Pitt is the second coming of Christ in this movie, he wins the challenge. What a cool character. That's what I want to see. I love movies where there's no struggle, no mountain to climb, just a guy who just rocks up, is the best at everything immediately, and then just wins. This movie then continues in this exact vein for 2 more hours. Brad Pitt then, after being out of the F1 scene for 30 years, takes control of everything within the team. In team meetings, he suggests strategies that everyone initially scoffs at, but when implemented, they just work perfectly. No one in F1 has ever thought of the strategies. 2 races in, Brad Pitt knows how to beat everyone. No one's thought of it because he's just genius. He's just the best. Like, it's such an interesting movie, isn't it? Brad Pitt not once is wrong in this movie. Even at the end, the bad guy who wants Brad Pitt's team to lose so he can get a massive buyout wants to recruit Brad Pitt to his new team because he's the best at literally everything. This exact scenario literally happens at the end of Spiral from the Book of Saw. See how I managed to get that to look back around again? That's pretty good. Brad Pitt is one of the least likable characters in any movie I have ever seen. There is nothing to endear you to him. He's not an underdog. He's the best guy ever. The only way you can ever like this guy is if you're in your 50s and think everyone younger than you is so dense. There's a scene where Brad Pitt and new Black Panther play cards. The winner gets to be #1 driver for the final race. For the first time in this movie, Brad Pitt actually loses. And then the Irish love interest of the movie says to him, "Well, I don't shag losers." And then Brad Pitt reveals his hand and shows he actually won the game, but gave up his spot for new Black Panther. Even when he loses, he still wins. This movie is so unbelievably infuriating to watch. Actually, to be fair, I am lying. Brad Pitt does make another mistake. He crashes his car while racing because he's just so distracted by the idea of his team being disbanded after a huge setback because the main bad guys sabotaged the team or whatever. But then in the hospital, after being checked out, it's revealed Brad Pitt is medically unfit to drive F1 after his crash in the 90s. But he does it anyway because he loves racing. How brave. How noble. But yeah, Brad Pitt, he gets out of hospital and he races anyways because he's better than modern medicine or something. I don't know. He would rather die than never race again. He's just so brave, so noble.
Dude, what the f***? Why are you f***ing here, man? You're so old. Where's your wife? Go home to your family, dude.
At the very end of this movie, everyone wants Brad Pitt to stay with the team. Who wouldn't? He's the greatest driver known to man just after like 9 races. Imagine if he had like an actual whole F1 season to train. Oh yeah, that reminds me, the training in this movie is like horrendous. New Black Panther trains using like technology. Like he's got like a hand-eye coordination machine that uses lights and buttons, and he gets his vitals read while like running. But Brad Pitt just bounces a ball and he runs. That's literally it. After New Black Panther gets injured in a crash, he ditches all that newfangled technology and just bounces a ball to train. Just like Brad Pitt. Wow, Brad Pitt is such a cool guy. I hope I grow up and become Brad Pitt. Actually, everyone starts training like Brad Pitt at the end of the movie. The entire team does laps around the track even when Brad Pitt isn't there because Brad Pitt is just such an inspiration. New Black Panther gets an offer from Ferrari to join their team, but like, I don't know why. He literally like hasn't won a single race this entire season. But yeah, anyway, at the end of the movie, the team all want him to stay, but Brad Pitt says no. He isn't there for the money. He just loves racing. And then he goes off and joins a quad bike racing league or something in the desert. What a beautiful ending. I just assumed that Brad Pitt's injuries from the 90s immediately get to him and he dies like 30 seconds after the movie ends. Maybe that's the post-credit scene. I don't know. I left. Going back a bit. F1, the movie, contains one of my least favourite scenes of any movie ever. Irish McLove Interest is the lead technician of Brad Pitt's team. And while Brad Pitt watches her simulate racing conditions, Brad Pitt then makes a very insightful suggestion to simulate turns. And then it's revealed Irish McLove Interest never thought to see how the vehicle turns? Are you serious?
You can replicate turns?
No, just straight line drag. Well, I mean, we can calculate it.
Does this movie think like I'm an actual buffoon? Races, they're mostly turning. Look at these tracks. Look at these turns. What do you mean they never simulate turns? They don't simulate weather neither? Wait, no wonder you're losing. Like, you have the worst technician known to man in your team. She doesn't simulate turn. New Black Panther chooses to stay in this team. Your technical lead manager doesn't simulate turns. I was genuinely awestruck by how bad this scene was. And now the movie is nominated for Best Picture. The movie isn't all bad. It does have one genuinely amazing scene in the final race. For some context, Irish McLove interest asks Brad Pitt why he races. Brad Pitt then explains the feeling of the moment in the car where everything goes quiet. He feels at peace, he can see everything, and he's untouchable. The movie is able to perfectly portray this exact feeling in the final race. It was genuinely spectacular when I was watching it. It happens when Brad Pitt is winning the final race. Even when this movie is good, it's just slightly obnoxious. Oh yeah, another thing about Brad Pitt winning the race. During the final race, Brad Pitt says to new Black Panther, it's finally his time to shine. A new Black Panther should take the victory. And then, of course, new Black Panther, he takes it, because these youngins and their massive egos. But then he gets taken up by Max Verstappen or something. But oh boy, good news! Brad Pitt ends up winning the race for him in the end. Yay! Brad Pitt, in the span of 2 minutes, gets to be noble and sacrifice the personal win. How brave. But then, at the exact same time, he gets to have the win. That's not how movies work. The way this movie coddles Brad Pitt is so annoying. No wonder Oscar voters love this movie. They're all old as balls, and they don't even bother to watch every movie that can be voted on. My number one movie of 2025 was The Chainsaw Man Reze arc, my only 10 out of 10 of the year. And guess what? Not even a Best Animation nomination. I'm not delusional. Like, I don't expect to see an anime movie being nominated for Best Picture to go up against like one battle after another or whatever. But like, Best Animated, that's just all I'm asking for. Elio got nominated for Best Animated Movie, but not this actual masterpiece. I have thought maybe since it's an adaptation, it didn't get nominated. But Hamlet's based off a novel. Hamlet gets nominated for Best Picture, so it can't be that. Kensuke Ushio made one of the best soundtracks to ever grace my ears in a cinema. In the Pool and In the Sea deserve nominations by themselves, but not even a single soundtrack nomination for this amazing movie. But this movie, F1 the movie, nominated for Best Picture. The idea of it even being in the same echelon as Chainsaw Man Reze arc makes my head hurt. But according to Oscar voters, F1 the movie is just far better. Screw F1 the movie, screw the Oscars, go watch or read Chainsaw Man. Bye.